Attention passionate Detroit, Lions fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Detroit Lions' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Detroit Lions fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Detroit Lions fans. Let's get to the news. Alright, Lions fans, today we're diving into some recent moves that could have a significant impact on the team's fortunes, especially on the offensive line, which we all know is a crucial component to any successful NFL team. Detroit Lions, always known for their resilience and fighting spirit, have made a move that's sparking a lot of discussion across the fan base and the NFL community alike. They've signed veteran offensive tackle Justin Herron, a player whose career has been marked by both flashes of promise and unfortunate injuries. This signing is not just about adding depth, it's about bringing in experience, character, and a fighter's mentality to a line that's been tested in recent weeks. Now, why is this so important? Well, first off, it raises questions about the health of Dan Skipper, who, as many of you remember, suffered an injury during the preseason opener against the Los Angeles Chargers. Skipper is a key player in the backup tackle role, and after that game, he was seen in a boot and described his injury as a low ankle sprain. The Lions, knowing how critical the offensive line is, especially with Jared Goff's success and the team's offensive schemes, had to act fast. They needed someone with NFL experience, someone who can step in if Skipper's injury sidelines him for any period. Justin Herron, as many of you recall, was a sixth-round pick for the New England Patriots back in 2020. That's right, this guy has been in the league for a few seasons now, and he's seen a fair share of ups and downs. In his first 2 seasons, Herron was a starter for the Patriots, starting 10 games, showing that he has the capability to step into a starting role if needed. His versatility and experience are assets that the Lions are undoubtedly counting on now. But his journey hasn't been smooth sailing. Injuries have hampered his development, and that's something we'll get into a bit more later. In his 3rd year, Herron was traded from the Patriots to the Las Vegas Raiders along with a 7th-round pick, in exchange for a 6th-round pick. That trade was an attempt by the Raiders to bolster their offensive line depth, but unfortunate timing struck once again. Just 2 weeks after the trade, Herron tore his ACL. That's a devastating injury for any athlete, especially for a player still trying to establish himself in the league. In 2023, he managed to make 6 game appearances for the Raiders, including 1 start, which shows that he's been able to bounce back and stay on the field, even if only in a limited capacity. Then, things took another turn. Herron was released by the Raiders in December, which opened the door for him to find a new home. Last year, he was given a second shot with the New Orleans Saints, but early in training camp, he suffered a knee injury that kept him sidelined for the entire season, spending all of 2022 on injured reserve. Injuries have definitely been a recurring theme in Herron's career, something that might raise eyebrows among fans, but also speaks to his resilience and character. And that's exactly what the Lions are betting on. Despite the injury setbacks, Herron has shown flashes of talent and grit that the Lions value highly. Not only does he bring professional experience, but he also embodies a resilient spirit. In fact, Herron's character off the field is just as commendable as his on-field potential. Back in 2021, he made headlines for a heroic act, rescuing a woman from an attempted sexual assault. That's the kind of leadership and courage that the Lions want in their locker room. It's not just about blocking and tackling, it's about the attitude, the character, and the mindset that makes a winning team. Now, let's talk about what this signing really means for Detroit. It's a clear indication that the Lions are serious about protecting Jared Goff and maintaining a strong offensive line, especially with Skipper's injury status uncertain. Herron's addition creates a competitive environment for the backup tackle spot, which is crucial as the team gears up for the regular season. Alongside Skipper, Giovanni Manu, Jamarco Jones, and Mason Miller, Herron will compete for a roster spot, and the outcome of this competition could influence the team's depth chart and overall offensive line stability. This move also signals something about the Lions' approach this season. They're not just looking for talented players, They're looking for players who have the mental toughness, experience, and leadership qualities that can help the team in high-pressure situations. Given the physicality of the NFL and the importance of protecting your quarterback, having seasoned veterans like Heron, who have faced adversity and come out stronger, can be a real difference maker. And speaking of the season, the Lions have been building momentum in recent years. After their impressive 2022 campaign, where they finished with a winning record and made the playoffs for the first time in years, expectations are sky-high for Detroit. The team's offense, led by Jared Goff, has been one of the most exciting units in the league, and their defense is steadily improving under the guidance of Coach Dan Campbell and his staff. Detroit fans are optimistic, but they also know that injuries and depth issues can be the Achilles heel of any team. That's why this signing comes at a strategic moment, adding depth and experience to keep the Lions competitive all season long. Looking at the bigger picture, Heron's signing is also about the future. The Lions are a team that's been steadily climbing the ranks, and with young talents like Jared Goff leading the charge, they want to ensure their offensive line is as solid as possible. Protecting the franchise quarterback is paramount, especially considering the high level of production Goff has shown when he's well protected. Last season, Goff threw for over 400 yards and 29 touchdowns, and a big part of that success was the offensive line's performance. Keeping him upright and healthy is a top priority for Detroit's coaching staff. Moreover, this move is also a statement about the Lions' commitment to building a resilient roster. They've shown that they're not afraid to bring in players with injury histories or who have faced setbacks, as long as they demonstrate the right attitude and potential. Heron fits that mold perfectly. His background of stepping up in tough situations, combined with his NFL experience, makes him a valuable asset whether he ends up as a backup or, in some circumstances, even pushing for a starting role if needed. As we move further into training camp and the preseason, all eyes will be on how Heron performs in practice. Will he impress the coaching staff enough to earn a spot in the final roster? That's the big question. And it's not just about his physical ability, but also about how quickly he can gel with the rest of the offensive line, understand the offensive schemes, and provide the stability that this unit needs. The Lions have been meticulous in their offseason plans, and this signing reflects their ongoing commitment to fine-tuning every detail. In the broader context, the NFC North is shaping up to be more competitive than ever. The Packers, Bears, and Vikings are all making moves, and Detroit wants to be at the forefront of that pack. Having a solid offensive line with reliable backup options like Heron can be the difference between a deep playoff run and an early exit. It's all about depth, resilience, and the ability to adapt on the fly, traits that Heron has in abundance, despite his injury history. And let's not forget the passionate Lions fan base. Everyone's excited about the team's potential this season. The addition of Heron, combined with the ongoing development of players like Jared Goff, shows that Detroit is not resting on its laurels. They're pushing forward, trying to build a team that can compete at the highest level and maybe even make that deep playoff push we've all been dreaming of. The NFL is a league where injuries happen, and having quality depth can be the key to navigating a tough schedule and staying afloat in the playoff race. So, as we watch these developments unfold, it's clear that the Lions are serious about their roster construction. Every move, every signing, is part of a bigger plan to establish a team that's tough, resilient, and ready to fight for a Super Bowl title. Heron's signing might seem like a small piece of the puzzle, but in reality, it's a strategic move that could pay dividends as the season progresses. It's about protecting Jared Goff, providing stability in the trenches, and ensuring that the Lions remain competitive no matter what challenges come their way. And now, Detroit Lions fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this signing? Do you see Heron filling a vital role on the roster, or do you think the team might be looking elsewhere later in the season? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Detroit Lions. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Detroit Lions news. This team has so much potential, and with moves like these, the future looks incredibly promising. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Lions!